Greetings and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, where the iron-hearted Mexican Socialist Republic is preparing to unleash its mighty war machine on Central America. The war justifications are in progress. Guatemala is where the hammer shall fall first, and that shall occur in but a mere month and a day. Look at that, expected to finish on the 3rd of February, and our current date is the 2nd of Jan. It was pointed out that the independence of Guatemala does appear to be guaranteed by the United States, so we'll have to see how they respond to our liberation of the Guatemalan working classes from the bourgeois elite who are currently suppressing and or ruling them in horrible, nasty, horrible ways. Also, we're going to do the same thing with Honduras, also ruled by a bourgeois, democratic bourgeois elite, who the working classes are powerless to remove due to the inherent flaws in their system, so says our glorious leader, Dino Enca. El Salvador will come next as well, so we've got the 14th of May for El Salvador, we've got the 24th of April for Honduras, Nicaragua we're going into on the 14th of June. All of these countries also guaranteed independence by the United States. I think we might be angering the United States somewhat during this campaign. Whether we'll anger them enough for them to invade us or not, well, we'll have to see. It might be wise for us to make preparations just in case. We haven't yet begun to justify glorious war on Costa Rica, so let's do that now. We can justify war on all of the countries of Central America. They shall all fall to the Purple Dawn as our workers' revolution spreads by force all the way down to the Panama Canal and, well, hopefully beyond, but this is going to be a sticking point for us. Obviously, we cannot cross this because it is currently controlled and owned by the United States. If we want to take this by force, well, it means declaring war on the United States if they haven't done so on us before then, which we can possibly do. But if they haven't, if we can hold off on engaging the United States for a while yet, until things really hot up over in Europe, which at the moment is looking pretty peaceful. I mean, obviously, when I say peaceful, I mean, there is extreme tension and various states and things being annexed by the growing power of the German Reich. But so far, not that much has happened. Oh, look, Republican Spain appears to have won. Oh, look, Nationalist Spain has one last holdout down here. It looks like the Republican Spaniards are winning the civil war. There's a little bit of Nationalist Spain holding out in the corners here. But that war is nearly over. And in the Far East, China and Japan are indeed engaged in a hot war, both of them fighting hard along this frontier. Who's winning? Frankly, I've got no idea, because we have no intel on that part of the world, because our Mexican brethren care little for the rest of the world. It is of no consequence to them. The only thing that matters is the glory of the Mexican Socialist Republic, and indeed the workers of the Americas, who we consider to be our brothers in arms. And in order to reach them, as I was saying, we're going to need a navy, which we don't have at the moment. Frankly, nobody had thought about anything like a ship previously in the previous administration that ruled Mexico. We talked to the Admiralty, which was basically a guy in a canoe, and said, where are our warships? And he just kind of, pointed to another canoe, which frankly we thought was a bit ridiculous. So we're going to have to build up our naval capacity effectively from scratch. Look, whilst we talk, let's just set the clock running again. We may as well, and I seem to have enabled day-night cycle, so I'll switch that off. So yeah, we don't have any naval productive capacity at all. We could build ourselves some naval yards, which we have none of at the moment. But that takes quite a long time, and frankly I would prefer to continue to focus on our civilian factory infrastructure, because we still only have 11 and 1 from trade, so we really want to build this up as quickly as possible. This is kind of our priority right now. But fear not, all is not lost, because once we have completed our national effort at expanding our research and development infrastructure here with the extra research slot. But wait, the Treaty of Barcelona has been completed. The Republican Spain has won the Civil War, the end of the Spanish Civil War. With the surrender of the last nationalist forces, the Spanish Civil War has come to an end. The Republicans have emerged victorious, and a new era has begun for Spain. The war-torn country has suffered greatly in the fighting, and there is much rebuilding to be done. Well, that's good for Spain, but as we previously pointed out, us Mexicans don't really care. So once the extra research slot has been completed, we will move over to a national effort on Navy. And this focus, when completed, will give us 3 naval dockyards and 3 extra building slots in Oaxaca. So basically it gives us 3 slots and fills them with naval dockyards, which we can then use to begin building our Navy, which we'll have to get the boffins researching, because at the moment we don't know how to build ships. As I said, all we've got is a canoe and possibly some kind of raft lashed together from drums of Mexican beer. I would imagine, anyway. I mean, I'm not an expert on the naval capacity of Central and South American countries circa 1938, but I mean that's just what I'm inferring from what I'm being reported by my current generals and admiralty and such. Research finished. Concentrated industry. Excellent. Alright, so we've got 20% increase in factory output and max factories in states, meaning we can build ever more factories. And I think we're going to get this naval effort started. We're going to set the boffins on doing naval research, because we're not going to lie to you, we're pretty far behind. I mean, canoe technology, to be fair, is not far off of destroyer technology from the 1920s, 1922. It's like nearly 20 years out of date, well, like 15, 16, 17 years out of date. It's a long time out of date anyway. So we've got some catching up to do, and I haven't really decided exactly what we're going to go for Navy-wise, whether we're going to try and build up a really substantial, large Navy, or whether we're going to go for a more flexible, like fast attack, sneaky kind of Navy. But whatever we do, we're probably going to want destroyers, because they're quite quick to build, and we can use them to at least get a bit of like scouting and stuff on our seaways, which should allow naval invasion. So 1922 destroyer technology, go and like, you know, see if you can borrow one off of another country and figure out how it works. Apply our expert canoe building skills to warship design and indeed battleship design, or at least destroyer design, and see what you can come up with. Meanwhile, let's take a look at our forces. They are still currently exercising, which is why we're getting some attrition on the moment. We're getting 6% attrition from, you know, like the odd training accident, live fire instances, the sort of boisterousness that you get in a Mexican Revolutionary Army when they're all hammered on tequila on a Friday night, wandering around with their guns, generally causing mayhem and chaos. That's where the 6% attrition comes from, and that's why they've got a little skull on them. The exclamation mark is because they've been assigned to an army, but they haven't actually been assigned to any orders on that army. So we can sort that out now. Look, we can go to division assignment mode. We've got all of our divisions assigned, and we're going to assign them all to this front line. There we go. That has sorted out their little exclamation mark problems. They are now properly assigned to the front line. We're also going to stop the exercise. They've done enough like stretching and leg crunches and star jumps and push-ups and all of that kind of stuff. Now they need to prepare themselves for the inevitable war on Guatemala, which is coming. It is coming now, in fact, like in a day. The reason we need to stop them is because when they are exercising, their organization drops right down, and we have to build their organization back up so that they can march through their hostile country extremely quickly and with great power and furious vengeance upon the bourgeois elite of Guatemala. Justification for conquering Guatemala has been completed for the Mexican Socialist Republic. Excellent. Well, let's just declare war then. Guatemala, your time has come. The Mexican Socialist Republic is going to liberate you for the working classes, and indeed because you're in our way. And as we attack, world news, the Anschluss of Austria. After a successful coup d'etat by the local Nazi party in Vienna, German troops have crossed the Austrian border and taken control of the country. No fighting has been reported, and the German soldiers were greeted by cheering crowds in the cities. In a speech before a massive crowd in the Heldenplatz in Vienna, Hitler announced the Anschluss of Austria, annexing the country into Germany. The oldest eastern province of the German people shall be from this point on the newest bastion of the German Reich. Well, if that's what they wish. By the way, Accents portrayed may or may not bear any resemblance to actual accents of people from the countries from which the accents are ostensibly being directed. I just wanted to give that disclaimer, just in case anyone was of any doubt, because I mean, I know, I appreciate that my Mexican accents have been so beautifully crafted and close to the original dialect and accents of people from 1938 Mexico, that people might not realize this, but, you know, I'm just kind of basically making up all sorts of nonsense as I go. Transmission from the Mexican Socialist Republic. We have justified our war and our troops are nice and organized. Let's just pause it whilst we plan our attack. We don't really need to plan our attack, to be fair, because, you know, we just massively outnumber them and we're going to destroy them in no time at all. But because we can, and because our little general here, look, old Gerardo Magna, with his cocky smile and his beautifully manicured tash and his kind of easy manner that just has him kind of that sort of half smile as he is so self-assured of this victory, but he wants to be the man to actually organise it, and I don't want to steal his thunder, so we'll let him organise. We just tell him what we want. We want him to take his offensive line and attack these countries, attack these provinces. We're going to like sweep down, and once we've taken these provinces, we can move on and actually conquer Guatemala proper, Guatemala City, as it were, which I think is possibly the only one that's actually defended at all. So now that we've got an attack plan, they're going to want to prepare. I don't know if we should really bother to. We'll unpause it. We'll let them prepare for a little bit. We don't really need them to let them fully prepare for this because it's so easy. I mean, we've already got. The plan is considered to be our advantage. Estimated plan value 60%. Inferior enemy 100%. So, I mean, frankly, we're just going to completely own all of them and stuff. Should we assign our divisions to the plan? Assign our divisions to the plan. We're still planning. We're still planning. You know what? I'm tired of planning. Let's just go. Activate the attack. And oh look, he has actually managed to field some more troops up here on his like northern border with us. One man there, one man here, fighting desperately against the might and awesomeness of the Mexican Revolutionary Army as we march into Guatemala, almost unopposed, but not quite. Oh, you know what we've actually got? We've just taken an airfield. Let's put our close air support into the airfield. We might not be able to deploy them in time, but we might do. Look, there we go. They're standing by. Put them in. Close air support. Launch the planes. And the planes are now airborne, coming to rain death down upon the poor, beleaguered Guatemalan defense forces. I think they've collapsed. I think they have just immediately collapsed. National focus complete. Extra research slot. Excellent. Let's just quickly assign our naval effort so that we can get those dockyards in place. They have two forces left. Look, they've fallen back to this one province. All of their troops have gathered together in one last desperate stand in the province of wherever this province is. It's just called Guatemala, it seems. But no, unfortunately, it's not going to hold, I'm afraid. Terrain, plains, weather clear. There is a naval base in this province. Excellent. We want that naval base for ourselves to start building 1922 destroyers, or possibly more advanced destroyers if we bother to research them first. How are you doing, guys? You seem to be taking... Oh, it's because it's paused. We'll just unpause it. And there we go. We have taken Guatemala for ourselves. It is the Treaty of Guatemala now. Of course, we are the only participants because Guatemala itself was defeated and therefore they don't really have a say. And nobody else was involved in the war. So we're just going to take all the states of Guatemala, which of course is just the state of Guatemala itself, in turn, make the demand, and the Mexican Socialist Republic took one state. Guatemala was annexed. 723 equipment was seized. Excellent. Good work. And now we will set a new front line just here because I think our justification for war against Honduras will be concluded first. So we'll get the army just to come down and prepare for war here. Look, they're actually suffering attrition, possibly because they're up in a mountain. Maximum attrition present, 40%. Yeah, it is possible. Excavation, research finished. Excavation 1. that's good. More resource gain efficiency from our various resources, which we will use for the mighty war effort. Let's get the boffins working on some more navy. Submarines would be nice, but transport ships are going to be the next bottleneck for us, potentially. So we'll get that definitely underway. As we conquer Central America here, we do have to keep in mind this whole issue of crossing the seas and invading and or attacking Colombia, Venezuela, generally the south of the Americas, if that's the direction we decide to go. So let's do that. We've got 119 political power. We're getting a little bit low on manpower here. In fact, let's just drop this down. In fact, this one's already half completed, so we'll set this. Oh, whoops! I think I just deployed it. I think I just deployed them. Click to deploy this line instantly. Alright, I deployed them half equipped and half trained. So, they're probably not going to be the best Division de Infanteria around. But, you know, it's fine. We just put them... We'll send all of this lot, actually. We don't want you as part of this army anymore. We'll set you as part of a new army. Do we have a commander? Yeah, look. Louis Farrell. Louis Farrell, you don't have any particular skills or anything, but you are a level 3 commander, a skill level 3 commander. We're going to send you up here, I think. Send you up to Mexico City. And then we're gonna think about this border. We'll want to at least have some troops ready to deploy to this border if we need to. I'm not sure if we're going to deploy them straight away, because that might antagonize the United States. But at least if we've got troops around here, look, there's a good point that we can hold. I think it's here, look. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got basically 4 territories, so that's a good choke point. Yeah, we'd lose a big chunk of the country up here, but this is such a long border, it'd be very hard to hold this if the United States decided to attack. So this is kind of our fallback line. We fall back to this point, hold it just north of Mexico City, concentrate all of our forces there, and we should be able to hold them back if indeed they choose to attack us. And we'll still have the whole of sort of Central America once we've conquered it, and possibly South America as well. So that's my cunning and subtle plan for the ages, and I think it'll be good. I think it'll work just fine. Fantastic. All right, how is our war justification going? It's the 12th of March, and we will have full justification in April, so we've got another month or so before that actually happens. We've got a research slot available, of course, because we got a new research slot. I could go naval, I could go full naval here. Is there anything in engineering that we want? It's 1938, it would probably be a good idea to go for computing machines. Yeah, let's go for computing machines. Developing a theoretical groundwork for modern computers and constructing electromechanical machines to start putting them into practice will be the first steps into this realm of possibilities. A realm of possibilities that will lead to one of the finest forms of entertainment available. Watching a wizard playing games on the internet. Yeah, I went there. Good! Alright, research has been assigned. What else have we got here? 3 military factories, because we conquered some military factories when we took Guatemala. We conquered 1 whole military factory. Oh, thanks, guys. Apparently they didn't actually have any naval dockyards, just a naval base. Okay, well, that's a shame. But it's not a massive shame. It's just a small shame. I think it might be nice to start building some artillery, but then we haven't really researched any better artillery yet. We could get transport planes for delivering paratroopers to their destination. Service manpower 80, operational range 1000, air defense 20, agility 10, max speed 300 kmh, sorry. Paratroopers would be another solution potentially to getting into like here, but I don't think we can take our existing units and make them paratroopers. I think we have to actually train new paratroopers specifically for that purpose. Well, I mean, let's just start a production line of towed artillery. We'll edit the Division de Infanteria. So this is our basic Division de Infanteria currently, and as you can see, it is comprised entirely of infantry. We don't really have a lot of experience to work with, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some support artillery to our existing infantry division. It's going to cost us 10 of our 42 XP. It's just going to provide them basically with a little bit of extra attack. Look, we get a slightly higher soft attack, hard attack, defense, breakthrough, piercing, and hit points. We lose a little bit of organization, a little bit of recovery rate, a little bit heavier, and we have a slightly higher supply use requirement. In the future, we'll probably create more specialized divisions, and we'll sort of mix and match things a little bit better, and we'll have like elite units and other things. But at the moment, with our relatively small amount of XP, and also the fact that we've got quite a lot of divisions in the field, I think this is probably the best thing. It just means we buff our units slightly, and we're able to do something with this towed artillery that we're currently now building in one of our factories. We need 432. We're making 1.5 a week, so it's going to take us a while before all the divisions are fully equipped, but I'm sure they'll be fine. Good, alright, let's unpause it and wait for the war justification to be completed for Honduras. They shall know the error of their ways in resisting the might of the Mexican Revolutionary Army. Once Gallardo Magna has been given the okay to begin his assault, all shall fall before his mighty powers. Look, we're just going to take the whole country in one attack. One attack. I could like manually do this. It would probably make sense to manually do it at this scale because, you know, there's no real point. But it makes him feel like a big man, like I said. So he likes feeling like he's useful, and it does give us a slight like planning bonus and stuff if we give him long enough to actually plan it. And he's got a little while now, so look, let's speed time up a little bit until the justifications are complete. We are low on manpower. We don't have enough political power to sort that out yet, but we will do. As soon as we have a little bit more political power, we'll sort out our manpower issue by changing our conscription laws and ensuring that more of the glorious and incredibly lucky civilian population of the Mexican Socialist Republic are given the unquestionable honor of serving in one of the División de Infantería or other army units within the Mexican Revolutionary Armed Forces, be that land, air, or eventually sea. We're not going to put anyone out to sea in the canoes just yet. Modified government, there you go, look, we've got enough now. So what we're going to change is this, our conscription laws. Currently it's volunteer only. We're going to switch it up to limited conscription. Extensive conscription we will go to probably eventually if we need to, but because it has a training time decrease to it, I think we're going to stick with limited conscription for the time being, which effectively has no downsides. There we go, limited. We're going to replace volunteer only with limited conscription for a total cost of 150 political power. That has buffed our manpower all the way up to 243,024. 243,240, as the case may be. Free manpower, used manpower, we've got 179,000 manpowers in our army and 2,000 manpowers in our air, and 0 in our navy, apart from that one guy in his canoe, who's stalwartly patrolling the coastline of the Mexican Socialist Republic at the moment. He has to kind of like sail all the way down here, or like canoe, row all the way down here. Look, the justification is complete. He rows all the way down here. He has to go back up and like check on the inside here, come all the way down here. Because of like tensions with the USA, we don't really want him to go through the Panama Canal, so he has to like hoik his canoe out of the sea and just kind of like march across here, patrol this little bit, and then go around and all the rest of the coast. It takes him a long time. I mean, frankly, he started when we first became the Mexican Socialist Republic, and he's only about here right now. But, you know, eventually I'm sure he'll make it the whole way. Anyway, enough babbling. Our war justification has been completed for Honduras. So we are going to declare war upon them, conquer them in the name of the workers' revolution. Honduras, your time has come. The bourgeois elite of your democratic government will be crushed. Look, an inferior enemy. He has finished. Gallardo Magna has indeed finished his preparations, and he is going to execute his battle plan immediately. Execute your battle plan immediately. Unpause. In he goes. We'll slow it down a little bit so that we can watch it in slightly more glorious fashion as he marches in, leading his army from the front. He's probably on a horse. He looks like the kind of general who would be riding a horse at the head of his army. Kind of old school. We have indeed encountered enemies. And look, he is actually... well, he was losing that battle. Now it's undecided. It's because the infantry hasn't arrived, and he sent the cavalry in. One cavalry unit on its own has gone in to try and engage them. We're still actually losing this battle. Outcome is uncertain. But now the battle turns in our favor as the rest of the Infanteria charge in and join the fray. The pure genius of Guiado Magna's plan now is revealed to all and sundry as some of our units flank around the side to take this undefended region. The rest of the units continue to engage the enemy, and the battle is all but won. The pincer movement has been executed brilliantly. Gallardo himself, probably the man on that shock cavalry horseman, leading the charge at the outset, is just rubbing his hands with glee now as that one remaining trooper, the one remaining defender of Honduras, a militiaman, probably the bravest man alive for standing up as he is, bombarded from the skies, hounded by a veritable bevy of division de infanterias attacking from all sides. Well, I mean, not quite all sides because we don't own these territories here, but we will. Oh yes, they shall be ours. They shall be ours in the near future. For now, we are simply concentrating on the completion of Guiado's fantastic and glorious plan for the subjugation of Honduras. And frankly, I'm amazed at how long he's managing to hold out as it is. I don't know if the main body of the infantry has arrived yet. We're certainly winning the war enormously. We do actually apparently have some divisions not in position and indeed still preparing issues. Obviously the battle plan perhaps not as brilliantly executed as we previously thought, but considering our enormous numerical and indeed just pure awesome Mexicaniness, we have succeeded in conquering Honduras, and the Treaty of Tegucigalpa, the treaty of that place is now in effect. Once again, we're going to demand all states and take the country of Honduras into the might of the Mexican revolutionary state. The Mexican Socialist Republic took one state, Honduras, and our national focus naval effort was completed. Excellent. Mexican Socialist Republic took one state. Thank you very much. We will, I think, pause our navy whilst we decide whether we're going to go for a flexible navy or a large navy. If you have any feedback on that, by all means, submit it to your local propaganda office for consideration by the glorious leadership of this fine and upstanding nation/revolutionary movement. In the meantime, we should probably start thinking about getting the equipment and doctrines and stuff sorted out for our infantry, which are our kind of main force right now. It'd be nice to get tanks at some point as well. Doctrinal effort, equipment effort, plus 50% research bonus to infantry weapons, 75% bonus to motorized, 50% bonus for land doctrine. This will actually skip if we just research motorized infantry ourselves. The following will bypass this focus: has technology, motorized infantry. So this is what this now means. I have figured it out. This is a way of skipping this effort. If we research motorized infantry ourselves, then we won't need to complete the motorized effort, because effectively it wouldn't give us anything because it only gives us a research bonus for motorized. So we could just skip over this if we wanted to. And research that ourselves at some point and go straight for something like equipment effort plus 50% bonus for infantry weapons and support artillery. We kind of probably should start working on our support artillery and things. Let's get equipment effort. There we go. I think that's the right thing to do. We will like mechanize our infantry, obviously, but whether it's worth taking a whole like national effort to do it, I'm not sure. I don't think we really need mechanized infantry or motorized infantry for this section of the war. But of course that's all going to have to wait until some future time, because we have run out of time this time. The war against the Central American states has begun. The Mexican Revolutionary Army is marching forth in a glorious campaign to expand the borders and the control of the Mexican Socialist Republic. And meanwhile, our boffins are busy working away on a way to construct a naval force to allow us to project our power far and wide across the realm. But until all of those things come to fruition, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I have been Weird Wizard, and I will see you later.